Hello, my name is Dean DeLisle. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer here at S2A Modular and excited to be bringing you another S2A Modular Minute. So a lot of people asked us, well, during the pandemic, how did you drive so much demand? Well, first of all, when people ask that, it's because in our webinars, which we run a couple times a week, we love to educate the marketplace on modular and renewable energy smart tech. We've driven over 200,000 people to our webinars. Now, I'm not sure when you're watching this. We're recording this in October of 2021, but over 200,000 people have been educated. Now, we do that through webinars. So when we first came on board, or I first came on board, I saw that we were doing a lot of seminars and shows. And of course, COVID shut a lot of that down. Well, we went to a webinar format. And that's really a tipping point when we went viral and things just exploded for us. So we went from not just being in California and the West Coast, all of a sudden to becoming global. Well, the webinars, we ran ads on Facebook and other platforms. We did a lot of good SEO. We did press releases and articles. And all of a sudden it took off. People were passing it around, inviting their friends to a point of 25% of the traffic that we get is viral. That means that somebody is inviting people in to really look at a new way to build and live. Okay, so what do we count on when we get that data? Well, we have about 7 areas of where people can fill out a form. And if you go to the contact us site at s2amodular.com, you'll see what I'm talking about. But you can come in and fill out a form on, if you want a job with us, there's a career form. Well, we have over 25,000 people at the time of this recording that basically, they want to have a job with us, for example. But the ones that really drive revenue, what drives revenue? Being the chief revenue officer, that's important to me. So we start looking at, that demand. Now, on the slide that you can see that's popping up here, we have investors. Investors are helping us build the factories. So we have over 250 investors at the time of the recording of this video. And you can see on the screen the different markets. Now, these are just the top markets, but we do have global interest as well. I did mention that at the beginning. Now, developers are interesting. I'm a developer. Many of us here at S2A Modular are developers, and that's how this got started. So developers are great partners because we love to partner with other developers. Maybe they have land, they have resources, we have land, we have resources, and we have factories that build, in a very fast way indoors. Well, developers don't just come in to invest. They don't just come in with orders, but they also come in with resources. What do I mean by that? Well, if you've ever built or developed or even built a single home, you know how important it is to actually have connections, right? So even when I was remodeling my home recently, I was doing my kitchen, I had contractors, and all of a sudden the electrician's like, you're never going to get an inspection. We can't close this up until you get an inspection on the electrical work that was done. I go, I bet I can get an inspector out here within 24 hours. So I actually had a little side wager with him. Well, I called my neighbor who works down at town hall, and she's right across from the building folks. And so all of a sudden, the building committee. So I called over there and I said, Kathy, is it possible to get the electrical inspector out in short order because I want to close up my walls? And she goes, well, it's normally his day off, but let me call. This was on a Friday morning. She goes, let me call over. Maybe he can stop over. And I kid you not, within 3 hours, I'm in my kitchen and there's contractors running around. And this older gentleman walks in with a pad of paper and a pencil, and he just starts walking around. He's looking. He goes, does somebody need an inspector? And I go, that's me. And I shook his hand. I thanked them. I offered him some coffee. And he walked around and he, inspected and was in and out of there. And I took a picture, sent it to the electrician, and I won my bet. So the moral of the story here is, as developers, we have people in Northern Florida. Now, I've never developed in Jacksonville or Tampa, but I will be. So I called down and I needed to talk about permitting and inspections and things like that, sort of the protocol. And I called down to some of our investor partners that were developers down there, and they've been down there for generations. So they're really plugged in. And they were able to say, oh, yeah, no, we can get you permitting fast tracked. We can get this done and that done. And even talked about potentially getting a road put in. So think of the power of just making that phone call and having those partners. Well, now we can help each other out. So we're building a huge developer network. We exchange labor resources. We have a certified installer program, and many of our partners want to be part of that revenue to install those modules when they get to the job site. And we picked up suppliers this way too. So we have that. And then we also have single family. Single family people come on and they're like, oh, all these folks have indicated they're building a home. Well, many of them get educated. And then all of a sudden they literally say, oh, I love this modular. I love renewable energy. They fill out a form that says, build me a modular home. Many of you might have filled out that form. Well, you tell us where you're at with financing, location, timetable, size, style. And that really helps us know where to work and also where to actually build factories next. So that demand gives us a lot of data. We do overlay that with industry data and other metrics, and we do have a scoring system to make some determinations of where to place our factories, but that's in another video. Now, last but not least, one thing that's pretty fascinating on this next slide is you'll see that we have over 300,000 units in the entire pipeline. Now, we won't get all these, but these are just our investor and developer partners coming to us and say, we need to build 40 units. We need to build these apartments. We need to build these condos, these townhomes, this community. So in that, as developers ourselves and working with our developers, we are on a fast track to build as many factories as possible throughout the next couple of years to help service this demand. But you can see just based on this and our education, there is a need out there, not just to build traditional, but to build modular. Okay, so from all of us here at S2A Modular, and again, if you do want to jump into a webinar to learn more about this, just go to s2amodular.com, jump on the events page, schedule yourself for one of the next classes, and maybe it's time to learn and join us in some way out here. So we do invite you for that. So thanks to all of you out there and all of our partners. We appreciate you and our future partners. So from myself and all of us here at S2A Modular, we appreciate you and we'll see you real soon. Take care, folks.